Have you had some time to listen to your own thoughts since our last message? Have you started to pick up what it is that you're thinking? Because when you start paying attention to those things, you'll actually be quite surprised at how negative your thought patterns are. The good news is that this can be changed. It is never too late to change. Every single day, every single thought, every single hour is an opportunity to turn your world around into anything that you want it to be. Every single moment of every single day. So, don't beat yourself up about this. It's normal. Everybody does it. This is just a case of, hearing the call and saying to yourself, right, I am ready to change my experience. So let's take some of those real sentences that we use and see how we can turn them around to bring you a better experience. We're going to use 3 examples: love, money, and health. It's always the big 3, right? So let's start with those. Love. All men are bastards and all women are bitches. That's always the go-to when you've had your heart broken, right? And I've had my heart broken more times than I can count. I've had some really terrible relationships that have ripped my soul to pieces. I'm married now, and I've managed to turn that around, but that didn't stop me from having decades of really dodgy experiences with men. But the fundamental thing that I failed to see was that every single one of them was trying to teach me something. And it took me 20 years to figure out the game. That they were trying to teach me to have some self-worth. And let me give you another example of how the universe is always conspiring in your favor here. So for many, many years, from in my early 20s, I used to have the most terrible, terrible dreams about lions. Vicious, bloody, gory dreams with these packs of lions that were ripping people to shreds, and there was just blood and guts and gore. Really horrendous things that used to wake me up sweating and calling out, and terrible, terrible things. And I could not understand why I would have such dreams. It went on for a long, long time, over 20 years. Over that time, though, near the end of that time period, the lions started to change. So in all of those lion dreams that I had, not once did the lions attack me. I was always safe from them, but there was just all this carnage around me. But as the years went by, the lions became fewer and less gory and all that type of thing. And eventually, right near the end, there was one lion. There was one male lion, and he was really old, and he didn't have teeth, so his gums and his lips were kind of like pulled in, like when people don't have their dentures in. And he was walking, and he was trying to get to me, and I was looking at this lion, and I actually just felt sorry for him. And I knew that he couldn't hurt me anymore. That next day, after that dream, I went off to the market with friends of mine. And at that stage, I was in love with one of my best friends who did not reciprocate, which was just the story of my life. And I had woken up in the morning, and I had phoned him up, and I had told him how I felt, and that I knew that he didn't feel the same way, but that's just what it was, and it is what it is. But I spoke my truth, and I got in my car, and I went to the market, and I met my friend. And as I walked into the market, right at the entrance, which had never been there before, was a painting of a lion that a local artist had painted a lion for the first time. He traditionally only ever painted African women portraits, which were gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous work. Ian Murray, absolutely magnificent work. But he, for the first time, decided to paint this lion. And here was this beautiful lion painting right in the entrance. I bought it on the spot. And then it dawned on me what the message was, is that all of these dreams, which had taken place over the space of 20 years, when I had taken back my power to phone that person that I was in love with to say, I am in love with you, I have been in love with you, and it's okay that you don't reciprocate, I took back my power. And I understood that those lion dreams were there to teach me to take back my power and my self-worth. And I've not had a lion dream since. And now, if a lion does appear in my dreams, then I know that I'm giving my power away somewhere, whether it's in a relationship, working, personal life, whatever the case may be. It is just a gentle reminder for me to take back my power and stand in my truth. This is how the universe has always got your back, to keep an eye on you via different messages, words, symbols, dreams, music, all those types of things. So once I learned that lesson of self-worth, and I started to put all the dots together with all these relationships, because let's face it, when you go through a bunch of relationships and they're all a disaster area, the common denominator here is you. There is no getting away from that. It's not a very nice thing to have to tell yourself, but it is still true. And so I started to build my self-worth up again, and then I met somebody who I was crazily, madly in love with. Turns out he was a drug addict, so it was a complete disaster. I managed to finally extract myself from that. Went to another relationship that I thought was going to be a good thing, but it wasn't. And again, luckily, instead of dragging this out for years, I had enough self-worth now to be able to say, no, I don't accept that. I deserve better. And so I ended that relationship as well, and then I met my husband. And, we've been together now for a couple of, over 3 years now. We've just gotten married recently. And it is by far the most stable relationship I've ever had in my entire life. And all of this happened because I changed my belief in myself. And because I changed that belief in myself, when it came to love, that I am worthy, that I deserve love, that I am lovable, I am loving, I then attracted the right caliber of person into my life. So I became the person that I wanted to attract. Law of attraction. I'm a magnet. You are a magnet. Be the thing that you want to attract. So if you want love in your life, you have to be more loving. If you want love in your life, you have to make space for that person. You can't be having, a cluttered environment. You can't be having a relationship on the side that's sort of on, sort of off, and, it's convenient when it's convenient, because there's no space for that other thing to walk into your life then. How clear are you on what you want? The universe can't give you something if you don't know what it is that you want. You have to be super clear. And so this is how clear you have to be. So I'm a very firm believer of writing everything down. I journal a lot all the time. I have for decades. And it's how I organize my thoughts and manifest my dreams. So when I manifested my husband now, I had a list of 152 items on that list. I kid you not. 152, as well as a list of things that I did not want. But so one of those things was that I wanted lots of hair because I love running my hands through hair. So he arrives in my life and he's got hair everywhere except on his head. So he's got gorgeous hair on his chest, on his arms, which I love running my hands through, but there's no hair on his head because I didn't specify that. And the universe has got a sense of humor, which is a really fun thing, but it's also extremely annoying. So when you are playing the law of attraction game, you have to get really clear on what you want. And you're going to get this very wrong in the beginning. But it's okay because you can always iterate and then try again and try again and try again. And so out of my complete frustration at these stupid relationships that I had been having when I wrote this list of 152 things, I closed my book in defiance and I walked out my house and I said, and I just shouted out, and he better have his own double cab on top of it, because I'd had all these financial losers in my life as well. And true as nuts, when this man drove up in my driveway, he drove up in a double cab, and it's just how the universe works. So when you understand that and you start getting really clear on what you want and you're writing it down, you will attract the thing that you need in your life, that you want in your life. Be the magnet, but you need to be the right kind of magnet. You need to speak out the right magnetic words to attract that thing to you. It is not true that all men are bastards. It is not true that all women are bitches. It's just the experience that you had because they are trying to teach you that you do not have a high self-worth. Learn self-worth and your experience will change. So just for today, and every time you have that thought about, oh, all men are this and all women are that, just say, no, I am worthy of love. I am loving. I'm lovable. I am worthy of love. And then give love. Go and hug somebody, even if it's a pet or a tree. Go and practice love every single day.